the Minnesota Vikings have officially rounded out their quarterback room. Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. There were some Vikings moves that were made last week that we have not gotten the opportunity to talk about yet. So we will get into some of those, and not a lot of people in here right now, but we just want to start off the show. I know for anybody that, because I know a lot of people that watch us aren't necessarily Minnesota sports fans, but there was a tragedy over the weekend in the Minnesota sports world. Jesse Pierce worked for the Wild, content lady for the Wild in the NHL, also worked with the SKOL North guys pretty regularly. Her and her 3 children unfortunately lost their lives in a house fire over the weekend here in Minnesota. I didn't know a lot about her, but I know just reading a lot of the stuff from kind of yesterday morning when it is officially confirmed and all that. Pretty heartbreaking stuff. Obviously, don't know that. No one really knows the details behind it yet, but just keep the family in your thoughts. It's just pretty brutal to hear. I know there's also a GoFundMe out there for her husband. If you have anything to donate, if you can, you can find that. Go do that. Otherwise, just keep them in your thoughts. It's just really, really unfortunate situation. And yeah, keep them all in your thoughts. Just awful, just brutal tragedy, man.
Yeah. I know there's like no words to explain any of that, and we didn't know her or anything like that, but obviously as Vikings podcasters and things like that, I know she did a show with Leighton and Jason. So, and I think they started that last year or whatever. So I watched a couple of those, and saw her doing her Vikings content and all that kind of stuff, and like everyone says, man, she sounds like a really awesome lady. So super unfortunate, man. It just kind of sucks that I feel like we've had too many of these type of intros to our videos in the past year or so, which always just sucks to see stuff like that happen. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Yeah. So
if you can, here's the link to the GoFundMe there. If you can, obviously I know everyone's different financial situations, but there's that for you if that's something you can or want to do. But again, thoughts are a big 100%. Thing right now too. So
100%.
But obviously, the show must go on. But yeah, just keep everybody in your thoughts and prayers there. Just unfortunate situation. But as we did talk about, though, the Vikings did make some moves, namely, obviously Carson Wentz coming back, which we'll get into some real depth about here in a little bit. But also bringing in Johnny Hekker, 14-year vet, multiple-time Pro Bowler, multiple-time All-Pro. Just bring some experience to that punting room. Good holder, because that's kind of the big thing. Like, the punting's important, but holding for Phil Reichard is right there as well. And then, of course, bringing in a backup swing tackle. What my first name? I forget it.
I don't even remember it. All I know, it's kind of giving you that SKOL vibes a little bit, where you're bringing in this young guy on a good contract.
Yeah, Ryan Vandemark
turns out better.
Yep, Ryan Vandemark, 1 year, $4.2 million contract. The Bills would have had right of first refusal to match it. They did not. But you're getting a guy with some size. 6'7". Absolute just wall of a man there. Has some experience. I believe he had a few starts last year for the Bills. And again, it's just, we were missing a backup tackle. Hopefully, if he does have to play, hopefully it goes better than the Justin School experiment did last year. But again, we needed depth at tackle, and that is definitely how you get that. Bringing a guy like that who has some experience, and just the size is 6'7", 6'7", 307, wild.
Ooh. Yeah. And plus, it looks like his athleticism is off the charts too. I don't remember the exact numbers or whatever, but someone posted his RAS score, and he was way above on the athletic as well there. So obviously, everybody talks about depth. Like I was mentioning earlier, like it kind of reminds you of the SKOL thing from last year, where it's like you got him at a good deal. He was going to be your he's not. I knew you. I had a feeling you would love that, Nick. Yeah, it kind of has that vibe where we were really excited about that, because it seemed like we got SKOL on a really good contract, good PFF grade, all that kind of good stuff. but hopefully this ends up working a little bit better. You get a really big guy who is definitely supposed to be good in the run game, which is obviously something we need more of. So hopefully that's a big depth piece, because we're paying him $4 million a year. I mean, we're paying him like more than half of our quarterback room at this point, or about half or whatever. So we're gonna get into that in a second here, because I know everybody loves to talk. Well, maybe not everybody loves to talk about quarterbacks in Vikings land here, but yeah, I think that was a really good signing. And obviously we can kind of go. We're talking about free agency now, so we might as well bring up. I don't need. Did you already mention what's his face? Punter Hecker.
Yeah.
Did you go into it at all?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, multi-time Pro Bowler, multi-time All Pro.
All right.
14-year vet. Yeah. No, I talked about it. Yep. Just thanks for listening. Appreciate that.
I do that too many times. Sorry, I'm reading these comments. Speaking of the comments, actually, let me go and do some shout outs here. We brought up Nick already. Nick in the building. He will be quarterback. Obviously, talking about Carson Wentz. Quarterback 3. Brosmer is out of here. McCarthy is playing better than Wentz. I do agree with that. Two-tone, that is sad. Yes, everybody. Yep. Appreciate all of that for them and their family. But welcome in FT Maddie. Welcome in our guy. And we need the draft the worst way, talking about punters.
Yeah, we need something.
Yeah, I know. That's what it really comes down to, is there's just not a lot going on here. I mean, we're reaching. We're talking about quarterback 3. That's the biggest news right now. Like, that's the thing. Punters, backup swing tackles, third string cornerback, and quarterback 3. Kyler Murray obviously was the big one. Without Kyler Murray, which is arguably the most exciting free agent move of the entire offseason for any team, I would probably say. But yeah, not a lot there. I do like the punter. I keep forgetting his name.
Johnny Hecker.
I do like that move. I know this dude's kind of like a legend of the past like 10, 15 years. He's just been one of the better punters, a guy that's been used a lot in fake or what would you call that? Punt fakes.
Yeah.
Playing the quarterback, and he's thrown a touchdown and all that kind of stuff. So kind of potentially brings that element. It'll be interesting to see if we do grab another punter for some sort of competition or something like that. I don't know if we will, because he's kind of, at this point in his career, he probably isn't someone that likes a lot of competition. I wouldn't think, but he's also 36 years old. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. We got the best. Oh, that's another thing, as he's supposedly he's also really good with holding the ball as well. So kind of bringing another thing in here for that as well. So yeah.
Absolutely. But anyway, the big news, Carson Wentz, of course, coming back. It sounds like a 1-year deal. I don't know if we officially got the numbers on that, or I think they might have actually. I think they did. I think they said it was about $3 million. I think we're around $8 million in total in that quarterback room between McCarthy, Carson Wentz, and Kyler Murray. And then, of course, I mean, that brings the big question here, right? Because you had a lot of people, as soon as it happened, there was, and you, again, preface it with, how we are. We're McCarthy guys here. But I just thought it was hilarious how we bring back Carson Wentz. And for some Vikings fans, that was the needle mover to that's it. They're done with JJ McCarthy. Like, if Carson Wentz moves the needle that much to you to be like, yep, that's Kyler Murray. I was thinking maybe they're moving on from McCarthy. But now that we're bringing in back Carson Wentz, yep, they're definitely, because why would he come back to be quarterback 3? Probably because it's his childhood team. And would you rather be quarterback 3 on your childhood favorite team close to home, or go to New York to go to the New York Jets to be their backup? He's already comfortable here. I mean, I think it was reported by Schefter today or was it Alec Lewis? I mean, a couple of people had some things to say about it, but that he kind of came back here. He had no indications that they're moving on from JJ McCarthy. He just believes in the coaching staff, the team that they have here, and he likes kind of what we're building, and he wants to be around it, especially, again, since it is his childhood favorite team. Adam Schefter came out today and said he doesn't get the sense that we're moving on from him. Alec Lewis said that as well. I think Ben Gessling said that. Kevin Seifert said that. So just where people were pulling that from, I don't really understand it. I mean, if it was Kirk Cousins, I could see that becoming more of a conversational piece. But the fact that it's Carson Wentz, to me, just means exactly what Kevin O'Connell said. You want a competitive quarterback room, and I think he wants depth, because he knows, what do you have in Kyler Murray and JJ McCarthy? 2 guys who the last couple of years have not been able to stay healthy. And Carson Wentz was playing good football up until his shoulder fell off, right? So it's just at the end of the day, this is more just like, so your baseline quarterback 3 play at the very least is going to be Carson Wentz. Now, is there a chance that JJ McCarthy comes in unimproved or gets hurt again and Carson Wentz does have to be the backup? Sure, maybe. But right now, that's not the thought process that I have about that. Like, my thought process is Kevin O'Connell wants to make sure that he has a baseline, solid quarterback 3 in case he needs that. And Carson Wentz provides that. And I mean, I still think that it's going to be a competition between Kyler Murray and JJ McCarthy. Sure, media-wise and some fan-wise, is Murray going to come into the season as the favorite? Sure, but I don't know. Everything that you hear from the right people is that this is going to be a competition. Kyler Murray knows that. I mean, it's $1.3 million. It's not like you're handing him anything. It's not like you're paying him big bucks to come here and be your starting quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. And you got a guy like JJ McCarthy who he's been working over in California, working on footwork, working on mechanics, working on getting touch on the football. So he's working on the things that he needs to be working on, right? So yeah. I don't know. To me, this is just rounding out the quarterback room, having 3 solid options in case you need them, and making it the most competitive room possible. That's all I see this as with Carson Wentz. And I was saying it, I think I said it to you 2 weeks ago. I'm like, Carson Wentz would make a ton of sense to come back here and be that quarterback 3.
Yes. And then I agree with you, Darren, here, because when it comes to Vikings, listen, like people give Pelissero some flack sometimes, but I'm like, I swear he seems like the only one that is plugged in with what's going on actually behind the scenes. Like, he's the only one that he comes out and says a lot of things that are kind of different than other media members, and then ends up being right a lot on those things. And I mean, and it's not even that hard. He's just looking at things at face value. And if you're a Viking fan and you pay any attention at all to the season, to watching games, to press conferences, this offseason, everything, it should have been very obvious the Vikings were going to do whatever they could to get as much quarterbacks as they could have on this roster, so they didn't get in the same situation they were in last year or 2 years ago with the quarterback carousel situation there. So that's why it was like a no-brainer to us for weeks after I guess it's weeks at this point. Once we got Kyler Murray, it was really obvious to us that it would make a lot of sense for the Vikings to still go get a veteran, because Kyler Murray is a guy who's also dealing with injuries. And that's when you kind of mentioned Carson Wentz coming back makes sense. Like, I don't really want Carson. Well, even if the Kyler Murray thing didn't happen in Carson, I guess you'd want something more than just Carson Wentz as quarterback too, probably. But it's not the worst thing in the world. But like you said before, prior or whatever, is just that Carson Wentz would be a good way to round out this quarterback room. And that's why when the news happened for me and you, it was like instantly like, oh, nice. That like Carson Wentz is a quarterback 3 for like emergency. If Kyler Murray goes down and JJ goes down or whatever, that's great. But I think we're both kind of surprised how many people were on the opposite side of that. And that's where, I mean, if you pay this much attention to the Vikings and you're looking at that and thinking like, oh, JJ McCarthy, that's the thing that makes JJ McCarthy gone, then you just have your hater glasses on, or you just really do not pay attention at all to what everybody's saying or care or anything like that. And there's some people definitely on Twitter where I'm like, you're not even paying attention, because obviously from the outside looking in, from like media members, like I'm not surprised, even though other people keep bringing up, what's his name? God, I shouldn't. Case Keenum, that he's been quarterback 3, getting paid $3 million or whatever. But all the outside people on the outside looking in, they're all jumping on board with that, of saying like JJ McCarthy must be gone, which I get when you're on the outside. You're not as plugged in to the Vikings as we are, or many of you guys in the chat are, who are watching this shit every single day. Those people, I don't care if you played in the NFL or whatever it was, you're not paying attention to the Vikings as much as we are. So of course they're going to say shit like that, but it's like our own fans saying that, which is confusing. And then, like you mentioned, Pelissero comes out first and has his whole video on this whole thing. And even earlier with the competition with Kyler Murray, it was the same exact thing. People are saying like Kyler Murray this isn't going to be a competition, Then Pelissero comes out. People start coming out saying Carson Wentz, that Kevin O'Connell wants more quarterbacks, or it's going to be a competition and all these things. And it's kind of shutting a lot of people up who were thinking differently at this point. And ultimately that's where I'm with you. I think it makes a lot of sense for me for Kyler Murray and JJ McCarthy to have a legit competition. And in my mind, they don't owe Kyler Murray anything. They gave him a job with a good roster. I don't think they owe him a damn thing after he was benched on the Cardinals, regardless if you think he deserves it or not. He was. So and I've talked to this, and I'll throw it to you in a second. I talked to Casey about this, where I think one of the biggest things of this offseason for me, and I believe the front office, is like this giant question mark. Anybody who does pay attention and saw JJ McCarthy show progress towards the end of the season, sure, he got hurt again with the hand, but he showed 100% progress, finished last 5 games, 11 touchdowns to 2 interceptions that we call fluke. And it does seem, if you watch that, and JJ McCarthy, one thing like no one can dispute, his teammates, everything talks about is his work ethic and him wanting to be good so bad. And I feel confident that the front office sees this big question mark of this offseason for JJ McCarthy. And I think I feel like they're probably feeling pretty optimistic of JJ McCarthy's progression through this offseason after having a full offseason healthy, after having his injury, after coming in as a rookie and impressing significantly in training camp and almost beating Sam Darnold out is what some people were saying, and then gets injured for a year, has a training camp that sounds like a pretty rusty training camp, pretty rusty beginning of his career. And now I think it's very important for them to find out what his progress looks like. And if he comes into training camp and looks like fucking ass, then we're probably talking about something different. But I think the last thing the Vikings want to do is to give him no chance. And I like a guy like that, like you know for a fact that he's working. Like Kevin O'Connell, he's not worried about him playing video games this offseason. He knows he's out there working, and he's got to be intrigued a little bit of the progression that JJ McCarthy might come into with training camp. And I'm not sleeping on it at all.
And even like the biggest McCarthy, even if like the biggest McCarthy haters, even if you don't want to call yourself a McCarthy hater, even the biggest McCarthy haters out there should at least be a little bit excited to see like back against the wall, pressure's on, bring in a guy like Kyler Murray to this team. You know, the rumors are out there that Kevin O'Connell told him like, oh, you were the one guy on the free market that we thought could be a long-term option. Now it's a 1-year Band-Aid. Like, if you're the coaching staff and even some like the fan base who doesn't really like the guy, like you should at the very least be a little bit intrigued to see how he's going to come into this training camp, how he's going to handle it all, right? Because you see all the people on Twitter giving him shit. Oh, he's soft because he blocks people that talk shit, which I do the same thing. But like, he's mentally soft. It's like, well, guess what? We're going to find that out this training camp. Because if he comes in, if he requests a trade, which was rumored today, which I don't really believe that, if he requests a trade or if he comes in, his head's not on straight, then you're like, okay, this guy's not meant to be a starting quarterback. But if he puts the work in this offseason, comes in ready to play, and gives Murray a run for his money, even if he does lose the starting job, like you got to at least be a little bit intrigued to see how he handles it on how he comes in. I know I am. Yeah. So I don't know. And the same thing kind of you said too. You got all the people on there now being, all the people on Twitter like, oh, well, you're just reading that the wrong way, or that's not true. Like those were the same people that when Diana Rossini was talking a bunch of shit about JJ last year and we were trying to defend him, the same people was like, oh, people just read what they want to read from the media. They'll take what they want out of it. That's exactly what the other side now is doing in regards to all these rumors about who's starting and who's going to be backup and who's going to be quarterback 3. Like it's all just the same shit. It's just the other people are now trying to spin it in their direction, which is what people do. But I don't know. I just don't. There's nothing that I've heard that makes me think that they're ready to give up on him. If anything, like I said, I think they're excited to see how he handles this whole offseason.
Yeah, dude, and that's the biggest like that's the biggest thing I think is I feel very confident that a lot, and obviously I don't know for sure, but based off of everything I'm hearing, Kevin O'Connell saying, like generally saying that he was impressed. It was genuine saying that he was impressed with his progression at the end of the season, even though some reason people take that as Kevin O'Connell lying and actually hates him and didn't even want to draft him until it came out that he actually did. And then it's just, again, but it's just like, how do you see that and know who the type of person JJ McCarthy is and not at least let this off-season play out and see the guy he comes back. Exactly. Because I feel like in my mind, I feel like there's no question that we're going to see a huge jump in progress for McCarthy.
Yeah.
Is it good enough to beat out Kyler Murray? I don't know. Because I mean, I believe in Kyler Murray too. I think Kyler Murray at 28 years old, I still think he can be one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. And if that's the case, that's a tough guy to beat. But when it comes to McCarthy, I do think I do think that it's gonna come in and you're gonna hear a lot of glowing reports of McCarthy, and hopefully you get both of him and Kyler Murray, and maybe Kyler Murray just ends up winning it. I mean, my money would be on Kyler Murray. He's 28 years old, Pro Bowls, all these things, but I know me and you are both JJ McCarthy guys.
Yeah, and the thing is too, like everyone talks about the trade and stuff, like it makes no sense. I mean, you're barely paying. I mean, you're not paying him much money because he's number 10 overall pick, no 5th-year option as of right now, so you're not paying him much. What would you get for him? A 7th rounder, a day three draft pick? Like, just trading him right now makes no sense for either side. Then for him, it's like if you do demand a trade and they trade you, well, any team bringing you in isn't going to see you as a viable starting quarterback because you obviously asked for your way out, right? So like a trade makes no sense for the Vikings or for McCarthy. What makes sense for both of them is bring everybody in and see what happens. And at worst case scenario, him and Murray both look great, and you could maybe trade one of them during training camp, or McCarthy comes in, win. It's just like, so from the Vikings perspective, it makes no sense. It makes the most sense to bring them both in and let them compete, and then. From JJ McCarthy's perspective, this is a chance to show the entire NFL what you got. How did you handle the offseason? How did you work? How did you come into training camp? Right. So for both sides, stick this out and show the world what you can do. Right. Because trading him just for a 7th round pick makes absolutely zero sense, because that's all you get for him is a day 3 pick. So it's just, there's no, again, with just how cheap he is. Exactly. Keep him till he's not cheap. There's just no value in making that trade. Now, again, after this season, if he comes in and shows absolutely no improvement at all, and he gets hurt again, then yes, then just, if you can get anything for him and you decide to move on, that's fine. But this offseason right now, unless the team absolutely hates him and wants him gone, it doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know. We'll see. But again, I just don't understand how bringing in Carson Wentz for some people was the needle mover. That's it. Like, this means that they're done with JJ McCarthy. Like, it's Carson freaking Wentz, right? It's a guy who came in off the couch right before the season started last year because he didn't have a team. So I don't know. I think people were just reading into that just a little bit too much. And I mean, it's just, again, if you listen to the people in the know, there's no indication that this team is ready to move on. The only reason they're not going to start McCarthy and see what he has is because O'Connell wants to save his job. That's very, very well could happen. That very well could be the truth. I mean, yeah, he could start Murray just because it's the smarter move from just a national perspective. And if it works, you correct the Sam Darnold mistake and you sign him and let McCarthy walk. If it doesn't work, you probably lose a job. Unless, of course, you can maybe stick McCarthy out there for the last few games, try to cling on to some sort of hope and save your job. But I mean, I don't think that's 100%. I mean, I think that's probably fair. I mean, it's eventually you might have to play Murray if he really is about, kind of career preservation, trying to save your job. But I don't know. I'm just really excited to see, just to see how he comes in and how he handles everything. I mean, I think and everybody should be. I mean, because again, why wouldn't you be? Why would you not want to see how a young kid who had his opportunity last year and it didn't go so well and he kept getting hurt? Like, why would you not want to see how he handles it and how he comes in? If he doesn't show improvement, and that's exactly it as well. If he doesn't show improvement, just that's exactly it. Don't pick up the 5th-year option. See if you can dump him for something. But I don't know. But I do think that people on the team, coaches, other players, I think they want to see how he handles this offseason and how he handles everything and how he comes in. I mean, because again, it sounds like he's working his ass off in California. Which I know people, some of the names that this quarterback coach has worked with. I mean, Zach Wilson's one of them and Justin Fields. So yeah, people are going to look at that and be like, okay, well, he hasn't helped those quarterbacks. So how is he going to help McCarthy? It's like, but it's the thing. It's just, this is just working on the fundamentals, right? I mean, at the end of the day, JJ McCarthy still has to be able to go out on the field, stay healthy and play ball. But it's just, he knows what he needs to improve on. And that's exactly what it sounds like they're working with. And that's exactly why it makes no sense to me to trade McCarthy for Kyler Murray's sake. Because Kyler Murray's got to come in and compete too. So you're going to get the best of Kyler Murray hopefully you get the best of JJ McCarthy, and may the best man actually win the job. So that's why, just from the team's perspective, even if you don't want McCarthy to be the starter, it makes no sense to trade him, because even having him here is going to push Kyler a little bit, because it is a highly drafted quarterback in a quarterback room where, like Kevin O'Connell said, you don't need to name a starter right now, and he's not going to. Like, he just wants to see how they're both going to come in. I mean, it's good for both of them to have this level of competition.
All right.
So Kyler tends to start off hot, then cool off. So does Kyler start the season and lose the job at some point? It's possible. I mean, that's the really intriguing part, because that's what a lot of people think, is that maybe in O'Connell's system, with the talent that the Vikings have, maybe he won't have that late season fall off. Is the hope, but it very well could happen. Or who knows? He goes out there, plays well to start, gets hurt, McCarthy's thrust into action, and McCarthy becomes the quarterback that a lot of people thought he could be, and we don't look back. Like, there's tons of options. And again, that's why it makes no sense at this point in time, unless the team really wants him gone, to trade JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, and I know that there's those, like, it's not, people are talking about his camp coming out and saying, which I don't know if that's true.
And again, that wouldn't make sense, because if his camp is doing that, you're making your own quarterback look soft. Like, and that would make no sense for him. That would make no sense from his perspective.
Yeah, the kid's working on his craft.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the biggest thing. That's my biggest thing, is, like, say what you want about how he played. Definitely say what you want about the injuries. That's obviously 100% fair. But one thing, and we said it earlier, is like there's not one person that's ever said that completely the opposite on his work ethic. No one's ever said he has a bad work ethic. It's literally, I mean, I think Jalen Naylor just came out and talked great about JJ McCarthy, and still, like, put his money on JJ McCarthy to win the quarterback battle here with Kyler Murray. And he mentioned that he's like the competitor. Like, and you've heard Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, everybody's talked about how big of a competitor he is, his work ethic, all that kind of good stuff. And that's just the biggest thing. Like just like T-Bass, the kid's saying here, the kid's working on his craft. That's a good sign. He's working on his craft, and you can feel confident that he's really working on it. Like, he wants to be the best, even though if he's far from it at this point in his career. He's like, I still believe he wants to be the best. Yeah. And
he's working, and from what it sounds like, from what Alec Lewis is saying, he's working on all the right stuff. He's working on the mechanical consistency, which is going to lead to him being able to get touch on the football better.
And I know he's working with I know that's like the big thing now, is he's working with I forgot John. Is it John Beck?
Yeah.
John Beck. He's working with John Beck, who he's worked with before. And this guy, it sounds like, a lot of people really respect him as far as, like, helping quarterbacks and things like that. And I know he's worked with him before in the pre-draft process, all those things. So people are kind of using it against him. Like, you're working with a guy you're already working with. But I'm like, when he was injured, like, he was injured for a full year.
I was saying the same thing. He was working with like Zach Wilson and Justin Fields, and obviously people are going to look at that and be like, oh, well, those guys aren't very good. But again, it's not being able to play football on the field. It's the mechanics and the consistency. Because the hope is, once McCarthy gets that nailed down, he already has the on-field confidence, so he doesn't need to worry about that. We've seen it work on the field for him when he's confident in doing the right thing. Right. So it's more of like, fix everything else so he can come into the game. And instead of working on your mechanics and playing quarterback at the same time, the mechanics from the offseason work are second nature. And now it's all about getting onto the field.
Instead of routes like, you mean he's not running stairs instead of routes like treadmill? Mm-hmm. I mean, hopefully not. Hopefully, like you said, he's the thing that we're hoping for is he's just drilling those mechanics in hardcore every single day, all day, every day. Like, that's the kind of mentality you're hoping, like, to make that amount of progress this offseason. Like, he's got to be drilling over and over again until, like you said, it becomes second nature. But yeah, to kind of come back a little bit here to Nick, is Kyler should have the best season of his career this year, most talented he has ever had. And that's the other thing. And he is betting on himself. And he's putting all of his chips in. He knows the talent that's here, and he's 28. Like, and that's one thing people keep saying about Murray, even though I'm starting to not believe any of the work ethic comments that he's had in his past. Cause it sounds like all of like the whole like playbook thing or playbook tablet. It sounds like that was part of everybody's contract with the Cardinals under, I don't know if it was, I don't know who the coach was at the time.
Yeah, but they kind of just made it seem like it was all him and just really put him just in a really bad like the national spotlight, just being like being like a low work ethic,
which I loved.
Guy, which
I mentioned what he said on his press conference about it or whatever, and I loved what he said at the time. But it does sound like, even with that being a thing, it does sound like a lot of people say he's like matured significantly. He's 28 years old now. I mean, completely different mindset. If there's a time in your life to start being like, okay, like I want to be the best I can be at quarterback or whatever, it could be right now. So anyways, like you are getting a highly motivated Kyler Murray. And JJ McCarthy he only can be as highly motivated as possible. Mm-hmm. So I do think you're going to get that. And I do think, Kyler Murray is extremely talented. His size is the only thing, but he's extremely talented. I mean, if he comes in and he even, I know one big thing knock on him is throwing in the pocket type of thing, like with Caleb Williams. And I know with Kevin O'Connell, like that's a big part of his offense. And I mean, even him coming in and learning, that's going to be a big step for him coming in and also learning that part of football for this in the Kevin O'Connell's offense, and whether or not he can do that. But
also O'Connell, I mean, we already felt like he was going to adjust anyway when it came to McCarthy. So I think it's going to be a good challenge for both, right? It's going to be something that Kyler Murray's not used to, but no matter if it's McCarthy or if it's Murray, Kevin O'Connell still has to be able to change up his scheme. And people who want to talk about him not doing that this year, like they're not taking him seriously when he says it. I think the fact that he brought in, is it Frank Smith to be the running back guy? Like, I think the fact that he brought him in to be the run game coordinator shows me that he really wants to be able to run the football better, to make it easier on his quarterbacks. Yeah, so I think we are going to see an increased emphasis on the run game this year.
And we did see it with the last 5 games. Yeah, the teams they play doesn't matter at all. Obviously,
yeah, we were running the ball almost. We
ran
the ball
at 20%
of the time.
Yeah. We ran the ball more. He made the offense easier for JJ McCarthy. He told JJ McCarthy just go play football, and we went on a 5-game win streak.
Yeah. Now took out those middle of the field passing concepts, and people got mad. Oh, we can't be doing that. It's like we were just talking about how O'Connell couldn't adjust for his quarterbacks. Now he adjusts. So let's put the blame. Oh, if the quarterback can't run the system, he shouldn't be playing. Like the double standard, man.
All we need to do is win games. However you get there, who gives a fuck, Yeah. Especially obviously in playoffs. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see kind of what happens over there. But I think overall you're going to get 2 motivated players. And this is me being obviously optimistic. But that's where it seems like we're sitting at as far as like them coming in and having a real competition, but both of them hearing glowing things about him. And that's a big thing again with Kyler Murray, 28 years old, been around longer, has more experience, probably has a higher ceiling than JJ McCarthy, at least physically. So it's like, it wouldn't be a surprise if he comes in and wins that battle whatsoever. But the thing with JJ McCarthy that I just love about him is just his ability to play his best football in the harder situations when he needs to win games. His ability to bounce back after a mistake, like he did in the game against the Bears, throwing a pick 6 and then having the greatest fourth quarter for a quarterback's debut in NFL history, against all the hate after that Packers game and after the 9 stuff, like hardcore hate, all of this stuff, and then bounces back to have the best stretch of his NFL career at the end of the season. And then even that Dallas game, to start that game with an interception and then have his best game as an NFL pro. Like, those are the type of things, like, you say what you want about his mechanics, you say about all these other things, like that's what you really want. All those other things really matter, but it's like, those are the absolute stuff you can't teach.
And that's why
McCarthy has that. And that's the reason why I think me and you kind of root for him, because if he does beat out Kyler Murray and things do work out and he does have and his touch and everything is better and gets a lot better, I feel confident in the type of mentality that JJ McCarthy has to go out and be like a Super Bowl type quarterback.
And that's what I think the coaching staff is excited for and the fan base should be excited for. Look, even if you don't like the guy, you should at least be a little bit curious. if he does nail these mechanics, how he translates that to what he already showed on the field last year is that he can bounce back from some tough situations. So I don't know. I just don't know. And again, so that's why it goes back to just it makes no sense from the team's perspective to trade him. No. Just because you're not going to get enough to make it worth your time. So
the first round, FT Maddie with the $5. Yeah, I mean, obviously, the quarterback thing, we're gonna. Sorry, T Bass. It's gonna be talked about all the time, but we can switch things up a little bit. I think some draft stuff. We're getting around the corner here, which is very exciting. About a month away now. What do you think the odds that we draft a running back in the first 3 rounds? I'm gonna say low.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say low.
If we didn't,
unless it's Jeremiah Love,
unless if the right one falls, maybe
I do think
bringing back Aaron Jones, put him in a spot where they just don't have to do that, and plus you can still get some later on too, like the 5th round. So I don't know. I'm gonna say low. I honestly think it's gonna be 2 defensive players and a center in the first 3 picks. Is my guess.
Yeah, center. I think is like it just feels like a center is gonna be picked in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
And I could be it like obviously if there's any chance you can get Jeremiah Love, that would not shock me whatsoever. I'm still down for that being like the number 1 move we make if that's a possibility, unless we have to trade like fucking a shit ton to make it happen. But I just in the 2nd round, like I know some people have Price starting to reach like the top of the 2nd, even the end of the 1st round. So there might not even be a chance he's there, but even if he is, I'm not convinced. If there is another running back, I think it would be him in the 2nd. Otherwise, it feels like you're reaching for everybody else. I'm not confident that anybody else. This isn't really a talented running back draft. Like I like is Mike Washington, right? Obviously, I like him. I like his speed. That's kind of what we need. But I mean, I don't know. No, I'm not like a pro scout type of thing, but I do know always be careful when a guy's ranked in the 5th, 6th round and then boosts up to late 2nd or 3rd because he has a good combine.
Yeah.
That's always sketchy to me. So like even drafting him, I just have a hard time feeling that there's going to be a guy there. It won't be surprising to me if we did go that way, but I feel like you're reaching for any other running back behind Price in the first 3 rounds. Maybe Mike Washington if we did do that with one of our 3rd round picks, especially if it was our 2nd one somehow, which at this point it seems like unlikely, then maybe. But yeah. It's hard. I don't know. I'm not convinced. I don't love this. This just isn't the best running back draft. Not for us. Not for exactly what we want.
Yeah,
which is speed.
Exactly. So yeah, for me, Jeremiah Love's really the only one I'd want early. Otherwise, if one falls to you in like the 4th, or we don't have a 4th round pick, but if one falls to you in the 5th, or if there's a guy you really do like with that compensatory pick at 97, sure. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be a couple defensive players, a center, and then maybe a wide receiver or something after that.
That's the thing is like it seems like we definitely need a safety, obviously. And cornerback, we still really need we don't have a true number 1 cornerback in my eyes.
Right.
So I do think we still really need that, even though that's like the one move we made in free agency, basically. But the biggest one at this point is some sort of nose tackle or big guy in the middle of this defense. That is by far our biggest hole on this team right now. I mean, safety, you could say, but it's not as big of a deal. And that's something we have to get figured out. And it's going to be interesting because we should have every option we want at 18, and whether we should trade back, maybe get one, or there might be one sitting for you that's worth grabbing at our 2nd round pick at this point, or maybe even trade up a little bit in the 2nd to go get a guy that you like if he drops, which there is which even when we get into this mock thing, we might even take a little look at that even potentially. But that's another thing. I know everyone wants Thieneman. I know for Tyler Fornes, right? I know some people don't trust what he says, whatever. I don't really know, but he just says he isn't on the Thieneman train. And I would have to also say I'm not 100% on that train of picking him at 18 either. Because even just looking at him, like everyone wants him to be Harrison Smith, but when I watch him, like I don't really see Harrison Smith. Obviously, he has the speed and stuff, but even him, to me, might be kind of early to draft any safety that's not Caleb Downs. So I do think we're just in a weird situation. And unless like a McCoy or Delaney drops down to you or something like that at 18,
you almost take a trade back at that spot.
Yeah, potentially.
Especially
or if you get
since
like
a lot of those
Sadiq.
defensive interior guys are kind of falling down towards
They
towards
are
the bottom of
falling
the first
down
round
right
too.
now.
So
Yeah.
so that'd be a definite idea. And I know we've explored that a lot in our mock drafts too, trading back. So we'll see. But before the draft, we do have some questions. But I mean, obviously, we already talked about all of our free agency additions here. Do you think we do anything else? I mean, I know Bleacher Report had us linked. I mean, like best available free agents and where they fit best. DJ Reader,
Right.
defensive interiors linked to us, solid in the run, big body. That'd be interesting. I know people are talking about Christian Wilkins again. Wilkins, right? Not Wilkinson, Christian Wilkins. Yeah. Now that he's been off the Raiders for a little over a year. Obviously, the way he left there, the stories you hear are a little bit odd, and I know some people think maybe that's an issue, but also it sounds like 26 teams have reached out as well to kind of get some feelers on what he's feeling about playing this year. So that's an option as well. I mean, Flores connection, which is why we kind of wanted him in the first place a couple years ago. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's been a quiet free agency for us. You do feel like this is, as we talked about before, and Rob Brzezinski said it himself, this is kind of like the switch up from philosophies where now it's more about the draft and keeping your own guys in-house. I mean, I think the rumors came out a couple weeks ago. We're putting money, potentially putting money off to the side for the likes of Jordan Addison if they do decide to go forward with that. So this does feel this free agency isn't surprising to me because it does feel like the reset now to where it's like focus on the draft, keep your own guys in-house, and get these type of the James Pierre type of additions for depth pieces on this team, and not spending big on starting caliber players.
Yeah, and at this point, there isn't really much out there, and that's why, like, it does feel like you need to get another bot, like DJ Reader. At this point, I'm like, I fucking easily do that. Just go get another. Obvious, like, I don't really want to be in a Jonathan Allen type situation or Hargrave type situation, but I'm like, we need another body there. Like, I don't want to go in the draft without what our defensive interior looks like right now, because it feels very desperate because we have nothing. It seems so obvious. Like we have to go there. And you don't, like, a rookie, I don't care if he's a first rounder or whatever, it doesn't mean he's going to start off hot and stuff right away. So I do think that's one. Safety, that's another one. Like, we just need another body or not. I mean, the Harrison Smith thing hasn't, like, for sure came out, even though, I don't know, the writing was on the wall, but I guess you never know. Brett Favre came back like twice or whatever, so you never know. So if he comes back, obviously that helps the safety room as far as, like, not being so desperate there. And I don't really know what's out there or even available for us to go in and actually feel confident in that person being in the safety room. But then the big one I would say left is wide receiver 3. And there's still a lot of intriguing wide receivers out there. And like, I mean, even Stephon Diggs is still out there. And obviously he's going through all his crazy shit for sure. And I don't know, I bet not a single fan wants him, but I mean, that's still some talent at wide receiver 3. You have Deion, and then we have Hopkins right here. Because that's obviously been the one that everybody's been talking about lately, because I think it was after the flag football thing, he got interviewed by TMZ at LAX about coming to the Vikings and play with Kyler Murray again. And it sounds like he'd be more than down with that idea. So I guess I'm just going to ask you this, just talking about wide receiver 3, maybe what do you think about the idea of DeAndre Hopkins coming back here for the wide receiver for wide receiver 3, and if there's any other wide receivers that you might even like better?
I mean, Hopkins would be interesting. Again, if you do go with Kyler Murray as your starter, I mean, those two had a pretty good rapport for the 3 years they played together. I mean, while he was there, Hopkins had 2,600 yards and 17 touchdowns. So yeah, I mean, it would make sense, especially considering he's probably going to be pretty damn cheap too, if that's the direction we do go. So I would definitely not mind that. Again, the caveat is you'd have to get him pretty close to the vet minimum, maybe a little bit above that. We'll see what he would take there. But obviously, it doesn't sound like he's in a rush to sign, or no teams are really in a rush to sign him. So I would be okay with that. But other receiver wise, no one really excites me. I mean, you got Ty Felton, the guy that we wanted pretty strongly last year, especially Keenan McCardle in the wide receiver room was kind of pounding the table for him. So maybe he's able to step up this year, kind of like Naylor did in his second season. But yeah, I mean, I guess Hopkins to me it's interesting because of the Murray connection. But yeah, outside of that though, I mean, Diggs would be funny, I think I get to wear my Diggs jersey again. That'd be kind of cool. But I just don't see that happening.
Well, and there's still a couple names out there too. I think Debo's out there still.
That would be
that'd be interesting. You got you still got Tyreek Hill. I don't know his timetable looks like for his coming back from an injury. I mean, and then we already brought up Diggs, Brandon Ayuk. If he's healthy, he's a tough one because he hasn't been healthy forever. Yeah. But still, I mean, these are names like Tyreek Hill, you're talking Tyreek Hill, Brandon Ayuk, DeAndre Hopkins, Stephon Diggs. Like,
man, that's like early 2000. That's like early 2020s, like core receivers right there.
Right. And I'm like, and as your third receiver, I mean, I would love to take a chance at Diggs. That no one's gonna want Diggs, and I get it. Like, but still, I mean, Diggs, he was wide receiver 1 for most of the time for the Patriots last year. Obviously, he's still got to be talented enough as wide receiver 3. And Ayuk, like, if he does come back or whatever, Tyreek Hill is still super interesting. If I know his camp said that they think he can be, even though it's kind of crazy, but can be ready by the beginning of the season and things like that. So I think those would be interesting to just get one of those bodies on this roster going into the draft, assuming that you might go wide receiver 3 or another wide receiver there. But yeah, so there's like a lot of.
You mentioned Debo. Debo would be fun.
Yeah, Debo's an interest. Yeah, and Debo. Like Debo would be interesting. He brings a different element that we don't really have, even though Kevin O'Connell probably won't use him that way because he doesn't know how to, I don't think.
Yeah.
But Debo, I don't.
Tyreek Hill, depending on his health, that would be kind of fun.
Yeah. DeAndre Hopkins, like, there's a lot of like guys that you'd say a hell no. Maybe you'd say a hell no.
It all depends on how much they're going to cost.
Yeah. Like you're wide receiver, like you're thinking wide receiver 3 at this point. And Tyreek Hill, he isn't going to get paid. He's going to be too much.
Yeah. Well,
some of these guys probably would be too much.
I mean, because Debo's 30, Tyreek Hill's 32. So, like, obviously, these guys still have some tread left on the tires. I mean, wrong side of 30, of course, but still.
Yeah, I mean, they might get to a place at this point. Like, that's a lot of names available that I don't know how much money they're all going to be able to get at this point. And they're all in that same little spot of like they were great at one point, and now they're kind of old, and they're probably mostly all looked at as like maybe wide receiver 2s. Like in their mind, they're thinking like at least a wide receiver 2, probably. But from other people's perspectives, it's like maybe wide receiver 2. It's like getting Carson Wentz as your quarterback 3. If you can get one of them at your wide receiver 3, it would be pretty nice. But how much are they going to want? But how many people even have, like, I don't even know all the teams that still need that type of wide receiver and are willing to pay like a pretty penny for a guy who's like kind of old,
right?
And might be kind of getting towards the end of their careers or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting though. Like, I feel like we could get one of those names.
Right.
One of those names in here. And I'd feel better, even if it was just their name and they just sucked. At least right now, I would definitely be like, okay, I feel a little bit better. Like losing Naylor and you get fucking Debo Samuel. Yeah. I'm like, I think that could be an upgrade.
Yeah. It would definitely be neat. That's for sure.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. That's kind of the big one, I think, for me is wide receiver 3 and then defensive interior. Like, just get a body there at this point. Like, if we could get Hopkins for cheap, I bet you we could. Like, why not? Why not? He's got to have enough in the tank to be somewhat reliable wide receiver 3. I know Adam Thielen really wasn't, but we're talking about a guy who is literally arguably the best in the NFL.
Right. At least just like a third. He could be a red zone threat, or hey, even a 3rd and 1 threat. You know those 10-yard passes Kevin O'Connell likes to throw on 3rd and 1. You got a big body. You're gonna chuck him up to him every now and then.
Hey, that's kind of what he was still good for with the Ravens last year.
For sure.
I don't know. I'll be cool with that, but we'll see. I think there's gonna still be some moves, but obviously it's low level. And then
obviously, the Jonathan Grenard thing still has to work out. I mean, there's really no more movement on that. I know there was something he posted something today about. There's a picture of him hanging up in TCO, was showing his a couple of his accolades from a couple seasons ago. Some people thought, oh, is he in Minnesota to sign an extension? A lot of other people are like, Nope, he's just saying, here's what I can do. Why are they not paying me yet or something like that? So that's still, I mean, there's really no movement on that. You still hear little bits and pieces and breadcrumbs every other day about, oh, this is still happening. There's really no movement on it. This team's still interested. They're still trying to work with this. So at this point in time, I have no idea what's going to happen with Grenard. I mean, it does almost feel like a 50-50, doesn't it?
I would say it's starting to feel like to me that we're gonna say fuck trading him. I mean, and we're gonna. I think I'm leaning a little bit more that we end up seeing an extension coming.
Yeah, I mean, I do think before the season starts, I think you're gonna see a Brian O'Neill extension. It just seems like the right time. Get him, keep him here till the end of his career. Freshen up the deal a little bit, see what you can do with some of the cap money for this year. Give yourself a little more breathing room. I think we're around like $5 million right now. But yeah, Grenard makes a ton of sense as a extension candidate, especially if you want to compete in the next 3-4 years.
Yeah, he's still young. He what, 29?
28, I think.
28. I mean, he's still young. He has plenty of opportunity to continue being good. And if someone's offering with his contract where it's at right now, if someone's offering him offering us a 3rd round pick or something like that, it's like a super fuck you. Like even a 2nd round pick, like by itself, 2nd for Jonathan Grenard. No, you're good luck. Plus. You're not going to turn that 2nd round pick into a 28-year-old Jonathan Grenard. You're just
exactly.
Not.
And the big, because yes, we understand coming off the injury last year. Yeah, the sack numbers were down, but he was still getting after the quarterback. It's just he had. I mean, I think Purple for the Win always says he had the most almost sacks in the league last year. Like he was getting there. Just for whatever reason, kind of unable to finish. Like the defense, the defense obviously wasn't up to snuff in the big time stat regard. In like interceptions, sacks, that type of stuff. Like it was a down year for that, but of course the defense was still phenomenal. But Jonathan Grenard was still getting there, just for whatever reason, unable to finish those plays. So he still shows he's got a ton of gas in the tank, right? Like he's still in his prime.
And I'd be totally cool with some sort of extension. Like he has 2 years left on his deal or 1 year left on his deal after this year?
2 years.
2 years, including this upcoming year, probably. I don't think we heard any
4-year deal. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So even adding 2 more years to that, he'll be 32 or whatever. Like that's totally. And I'm assuming you probably wouldn't have any guarantees going into that 4th year. Probably, I'm guessing. So, so I'm like, that's plenty. Like we don't need to trade him at all.
We don't need to be paying him, JSN money.
No,
which is crazy that wide receivers are making $42 million a year now. But so I mean, if Justin Jefferson comes back and if he comes back this year and just has another season like you expect him to have, I think you're gonna be seeing that contract get freshened up a little bit here too. Because he's the 3rd highest paid receiver in the league right now, making $35 million a year. Jamar Chase is at 40, and now JSN's at 42. Plus, you still have Puka Nacua probably going to get an extension sometime soon too. So, I mean, I highly expect Jefferson to have another really good year once I get this quarterback thing figured out. And I expect him to be up there in that monetary range again. Like he's probably going to want a little bit of freshening up of that contract, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And again, and that's probably another reason why they're not signing guys to big time contracts right now, because they know they have in-house guys in the next couple of years here that they need to find a way to keep.
Yes. Let's run a quick mock.
Sure.
We're getting there. I think I'm starting to kind of like see the flow of how everything's going. At least with PFF. Let's just do 4. We'll do 4 just in case we pick up.
In case we trade back or something.
Yeah. Vikings. This want to be the Packers. Maybe we should do a Packer one and just make the worst.
Remember when you and Dave, was it me, you, Dave, and was it Skoldock that time? Where each of us picked a team in the North.
Yeah.
And drafted for him.
We should actually try to pull something like that off.
It was kind of fun. Well, Jeremiah Love went number 2 overall. It's crazy. Caleb Downs. Look, I mean, if Caleb Downs got down past like here,
I'd trade
up.
Probably.
Okay. Interesting.
So Sadiq is still very. Sadiq's like you shouldn't do it, but if the Vikings pulled the trigger, I'd be like, let's fucking go.
Yeah. I know Nick would be happy with that.
But I do think I know Jermon McCoy is coming back from his injury or whatever, but I know people still love him and think he's going to be a lockdown in the NFL. And I don't know the update. It sounds like he should be ready. I don't know. When is Tennessee's pro day? That's going to be the big one.
Right. Yeah. But anyway, I mean, just the names that you see here when we've done these, and some names linked to the Vikings, of course, Sadiq, Jamad McCoy, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, Avion Terrell, who had been a favorite in early mocks of the Vikings.
Who plays on? Oh, wait.
And then you do still have all the defensive interior options: Caden McDonald, Caleb Banks, Peter Woods as well.
March 31st. So that's going to be a big day for McCoy on whether or not he ends up working out. Yeah. In the meantime, I have an idea here, and I think we should start picking with McCoy.
So you don't want to trade back? You just want to take?
Yeah, I think I think McCoy is at this point, and we'll see what happens when we get closer. But I think McCoy at this point is the type of player that if he does drop to you, you pull the trigger.
The Lakers game getting heated. Nick, why am I not surprised? Come on, man. Your Lakers are playing some damn good ball right now. Settle down. You're fine.
I know they won 7 in a row. And Nick's still getting mad at them.
You'd go McCoy as well.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, if you wanted to get more draft capital, a trade back would make a ton of sense here just because there are names that you still like. But yeah, and I know a lot of people are going to talk about the injury. Well, look at Derek Stingley coming off his injury as well. It took him a couple years to really get up to snuff. Well, but when he got there, he's an elite corner.
Trade real quick.
I mean, it would be Houston.
Yeah, no.
It would be the next close to 20.
Yeah, I say go with McCoy. Yeah. Like now you got a guy that should be your cornerback one. Now, so pause it real quick. Pause it. So bring this to slow. All right, we got move up real quick. What defensive interiors are gone? Just Caden.
Just Caden.
Let's go down and let's say what we got. Banks.
The next
Peter Woods, and then pause it. Really slow. Okay, we can probably boost it up one.
Wow.
Keep it going. All
right.
right.
Top of the second, no one's been
gone.
Caleb Banks.
So now you also have Hunter Lee out there as well. I know Nick isn't a huge Banks fan, and Knowledge, my boy, is in the building. What's going on, dude? SKOL Vikings signing Wentz means JJ Days' number. Oh man, you gotta go back to our front thing because we have something to say about that, which is obviously not true. It's not true. That's Wentz is QB3. So we also have Hunter Lee out there. So we can, and so the other one is Peter Woods, which obviously I know his draft stock's fallen a little bit. But definitely worth a second round pick. We got, as far as defensive interiors go, potentially here, Houston potentially. Who did what's his name, the Ohio kid, go for in the first round?
Who did he go to?
Yeah,
he went to the Browns.
McDonald to the Browns. Okay, let's roll. Let's let Lee or Peter Woods come off.
Okay,
potentially, let's.
Oh, there goes Peter Woods.
Okay. Let's go to the Browns.
Okay.
After the Browns, because they already picked a guy. All right, stop here. All right.
So we have to get through 9 more picks with one guy we want left.
Yeah, I say we go for Peter Woods. I was hoping Peter Woods was going to drop, but I would still be cool with Hunter Lee. Let's see what we can do with a trade up here. Or actually, you know what? Go 240. Go one more to the Bengals.
Well, the Bengals do need. I mean, they have interior as one of their needs.
So we'll trade with them instead of.
Kansas but I mean, if they want, it might be tough if they're looking to get an interior guy, though. You know what I mean? Who'd they take in the first round? Dylan Thine. Wow, 10. Damn.
Let's just try to make a trade with Kansas City here.
Okay. I mean, obviously we're the ones that want to. Okay. All right. No. Well, I guess their standards aren't too high.
Let's go 163. Let's do that. Yeah. Oh, pause it. No, they picked them.
Oh. Did I not hit trade? Whoops.
I thought you did.
Yeah.
All right. Well, our plan failed.
It's my fault. All right.
You're good. We'll pretend that we made it happen.
What are the chances?
So, anyways, in another draft, the idea of us trading, if we were to get McCoy and somehow trade back up in the second round to go get one of the defensive interior, the top 5 top 4? Yeah, top 4 defensive interior guys. I think could be completely worth it But at this point, I don't know. We maybe AJ Hulsey.
Yeah.
What does our trades look like here? FT Matty likes Hulsey here.
62. So we'd have to wait 13 more picks.
That's quite a bit.
I say we just do it. I like it.
I like AJ Hulsey here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're desperate. Even if you go McCoy in the first round or whatever, it's like you're desperately need a defensive interior right now. Desperately. Which we might have to figure out here.
Which I'm
curious. A guy Daryl Jackson just left. And there isn't.
I mean, if we're looking center.
Yeah. I know you also have the Iowa kid that probably will land to us later.
I mean, I've seen, I mean, obviously we wouldn't take him now, but this is a name that I have seen some other Vikings mock drafts take later on.
Okay. Let's see what the trade looks like actually here.
107. No. That's a long drop.
I don't like that.
25 picks. Yeah, no thank you.
Damn. That's crazy. I don't even Anthony Hill Jr. Let's do it.
Slaughter's still there.
Yeah. Anthony Hill Jr. linebacker. I know a lot of people like this kid, which I haven't looked at him yet, but I know 38. Which I'm like, we can still use linebacker. So I would definitely be cool with this here. Defensive interior, we're struggling a little bit here. And then I still pulling the trigger. You got Slaughter, you got Logan Jones.
Well, he's coming way up, at least for these.
Yeah. What's the trade looking like?
100. So 3 picks.
Let's do it. Take 100, take 124. Let's do it. Pull the trigger.
Will not be accepted.
Wait, what?
Which I guess that makes sense. 3 picks and pick. Yeah.
We'll give him 100, grab 124, and then give him 196. There you go. Now do it. All right. Oh, fuck. All right, we screwed up. We absolutely got smoked here.
They both went.
Yeah, I know.
That's unfortunate.
That's very unfortunate.
We
took a chance and failed here.
Yep.
Let's go Malik Muhammad. Oh wait, no. You like that defensive?
It is just a name that I've seen mocked.
Yeah, let's just do it. Let's just do it because we desperately need one.
Now that is drafting for need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. He got a little cocky.
First, I missed the trade.
The only reason why I even did it though is just because we didn't have any 4th round picks, and I wanted to try
Adam Thielen.
Justin Jolie. Could go Jolie here.
Running back here.
I mean, at some point I would be cool. At some point I would be cool with Emmett Johnson, and Seth McGowan even had he's someone that did well at the combine. So let's go with a running back.
Which one?
I mean, I haven't watched McGowan yet. I just know he's more of what we want as far as speed and stuff goes. Oh, no, Brian Parker for center. Sure. Where is he?
Might be gone already.
He might be gone.
Looks like it.
How about Burton? Take Brian Parker. He's listed as a tackle. OT. All right. Run it.
6'5", 305. All right.
Let's do it. All right. Not this. The mock didn't go exactly as planned, I'd have to say, but
yep. Still covered some positions of need.
B.
It's all right.
It's all right. It's not our best. But yeah, I felt like we're on to something there.
Yeah. We'll take it.
We'll take it. But
anything else?
I think that's it. Next week I will be gone, so you'll be getting a solo Casey.
Just me. You guys are gonna have to deal with it. We'll have fun. We'll be all right.
Yep.
But yeah, obviously, yeah, we'll see if anything else happens this week for agency wise. But it does feel like the big exciting stuff is done. Got the quarterback room settled, and we'll kind of see where things go from here. And then, of course, turning the corner into draft season. So that's always an exciting part of the year. We got, like Jamie said, we got about a month till then. So we'll be probably, I suppose, wanting to hit the draft content pretty hard here coming up in the coming weeks. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. Like Jamie said, it'll be just me and you guys next Monday. Make sure to tune in for that. But have a great rest of your weekend. Until then, see you guys next time.
SKOL Vikes.